On May the 16th, Parliament will once again take up the assisted dying bill tabled by Kim Ledbetter. And the headlines are predictably polarised. Some herald it as a long overdue step towards compassion, while others warn of a slippery slope, paved with fiscal calculations and coercion. Yet for all the heat, very little light has been cast on the real tragedy at the heart of our national hypocrisy. And I don't believe this bill, however well-intentioned, is well-worded or well discussed. It's been procedurally clumsy, philosophically undercooked, and politically vulnerable to the last-minute amendment. And yet, whether it passes or not, we must address the farce that we now endure and the hypocrisy that we now endure, the ongoing criminalisation of those who wish to escort their terminally ill relatives to Switzerland, to Dignitas, or elsewhere to die peacefully, legally, and in the presence of loved ones. This is not a moral triumph, it's a bureaucratic evasion. We are outsourcing our ethical responsibilities to another country, letting the Swiss play the role of mercy bringer while we clutch our pearls and prosecute grieving families. There is something uniquely British about this priggish approach. The letter of the law above all, form before feeling a stiff upper lip, while others sob into their final goodbyes. Let's introduce Louise Shackleton. Her husband Anthony was dying of motor neurone disease in December, and he chose to go to Switzerland for a peaceful death. Louise accompanied him, and on return to the UK, she did what any reasonable citizen might. She turned herself in. She is now under police investigation. Her only crime was love, and to support her husband. This is moral cowardice by statute, and by the absurd bullying of the police. Meanwhile, we find ourselves mired in sterile debates about projected cost. The government's 149-page impact assessment, which they couldn't be bothered to do when it came to VAT on private schools, tells us that assisted dying might save the NHS £59 million in 10 years. But what does that say about us? That human dignity is something we'll consider, so long as the price is right. Opponents like Baroness Tani Gray Thompson are right to warn of coercion, but coercion is already happening. It's not just financial, it's emotional and temporal. Patients are forced to make their death fit the schedule of EasyJet. They must die while they can still travel, while they can still lift a glass of sodium pentobarbital to their lips. This isn't dignity, this is premature euthanasia masquerading as legality, a system that demands you end your life before you are truly ready. That's not safe, that's shameful. And Kim Ledbetter's bill, as it stands, confines eligibility to those with fewer than 6 months to live. It replaces judicial scrutiny with a multidisciplinary panel, lawyer, psychiatrist, social worker. This sounds thorough, it may be workable, but it's not yet convincing. Critics point to flimsy training, missing references to coercion laws, and the wholly inappropriate release of the impact assessment late on a Friday evening, just as election results distract MPs. It's a poorly choreographed process, and yet again, it's terminal patients who pay the price of political inertia. I believe in safeguards. I don't believe that we should license death for the vulnerable, the depressed, or those made hopeless by an underfunded health system. But I also believe that denying a lucid, terminally ill adult the right to shape their death, especially when it simply pushes them abroad, is cruelty in policy clothing. Esther Ranson, aged 84, diagnosed with terminal cancer, said it best: "I want my children to have good memories of our life together, not terrible memories of the way I die." And whether this bill passes in June or languishes until 2029, the conversation must shift. Compassion should not depend on your passport stamp or your ability to afford a passport. We cannot pretend that forcing families to act in secret or to abandon dying loved ones out of legal fear is anything other than grotesque. Can we? In the same way as we cannot pretend that ranks of euthanasia systems are a reminder of something horrific that happened in the 1930s. Somehow we have to fit between those two extremes. Fix the bill by all means, strengthen the language, tighten the safeguards, but stop prosecuting families for showing mercy. Stop pretending that a Ryanair flight to Zurich is a safeguard. If we are not ready to legislate death, then at least we need to decriminalise love.